Welcome to the intro. I'm Davenant Doyle, and today on the show we're featuring R&B artist Haley Smalls. She's a classically trained singer, songwriter, and a self-taught recording engineer. Here's Haley Smalls with Divine Energy.
Inside the waters, I can see something swimming in my soul. The tide is getting stronger. I'm taking back my freedom. Divine feminine inside wants to divide. I hear my soul cry. I feel the divine feminine inside, wanting to divide everything I've aligned inside me. It's darker than the corners of the ocean. She takes up every facet of my mind. And every time I try to find a way out, she's playing with my mental till I break down. Divine feminine wants to just divide. I hear my soul cry. I feel the divine feminine inside, wanting to divide everything I've aligned just divide. I hear my soul cry.
Thank you so much for being here today. You sounded great.
Thank you so much for having me and having us.
I want to dig in a little bit to that song you just played. It's called Divine Energy.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about that song?
So Divine Energy is really kind of just about the energies of divine feminine and masculine. The masculine way of healing is kind of to like build blocks and shut things out and kind of like cut things off. And both men and women do this naturally without, consciously knowing. And then the feminine way is to really just feel everything. And so everything has to come to the surface. And it's very chaotic, but once it's out, there's kind of this like peace that happens. And so the divine energy is really about the divine feminine, and that healing process that can feel very uncomfortable. And it's kind of like just tearing things apart inside of you. So that's really what it was about. Yeah.
So you really started in this industry when you were super young, even, when you were in your late teens, I think it was, when you went to LA and you had this opportunity to showcase for LA Reid, who of course has mentored Usher and TLC and Toni Braxton.
Yes.
What was that experience like as a young person and a young professional?
It was very interesting, because I think as a young person, trying to achieve your dreams in music, you have all these ideas in your head of what things are going to be like. And then when you kind of get into it, you start to get into the realities that exist and the politics and all kinds of things. And so for me, it was a huge lesson and a very valuable one, because I started to realize that if I didn't know who I was, then people were going to start to really push that on me. And I can't blame them for it, because if you don't know who you are, these people are there and they're responsible for trying to, make you into something that can sell, right? So that was really just a process of me, again, almost with the divine feminine, just getting torn apart to really push to figure out who I was.
What made you, as a young woman, decide that, hey, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I want to have all the control in my hands. I want to know how to produce and engineer. What was that moment like for you when you took those reins in your hands?
I think it kind of crept up on me in a way. I definitely have to thank my father for helping me, and it was his idea at the time when I was 18. He was like, I think we should, get you a studio set up in the house.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was super big. And so he did that for me, and that was a gift. And so that was what first started, me off to learn how to record myself. Right. And then over time, I just obviously got better and better. And it was really just like the best gift that I could have given to myself was to learn how to do that, because you don't have to rely upon anybody else, and how you want to sound, what you want for yourself. So it really just took me down the path of beginning to say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to rely upon other people. I'm not going to blame other people for things not coming out the way I want them to come out or whatever. I'm just going to learn how to do it myself. And it's not to say that, it's not to say to be a control freak or to not want to collaborate with people, because there are things that people can bring to the table that you just can't, you can't, and you can't really be a one-man band. Realistically. But I think that I've just given a lot of value to myself to be able to be like, okay, well, if I need to do it, I can do it, and even when somebody else is doing the process, at least I can understand it. And that opens the lines of communication so much more to be able to collaborate so much more efficiently.
I want to talk about this next song. It's called What Would You Do? Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Yeah, What Would You Do is really just... it was meant to be very heart-wrenching, I think, just because a lot of people have been in the situation where, maybe they've done something that they knew would break the relationship. In this song, there was kind of like a little tidbit that I put in the first verse, kind of just to paint the picture of a person who's in a relationship and maybe that person has been unfaithful. And so now I pose the question of, well, if I did the same thing, what would you do? Would you stay or would you go? Would you work on it, or would this be too difficult for you? So it's a hard question to ask, because, we all like to say, well, if that person did that, I'd be out of there, right? But sometimes it's harder than that. Sometimes there's kids involved. Like sometimes the heart is just too bonded, And so I don't think there's a right answer for anybody. I think that it kind of almost comes down to the thing where what's right for you is what's right for you. It's not to say that my advice to anybody is to stay and be battered or stay and be treated, in a negative way. But I think that a person always knows what's right for them, at the end of the day. And so it was just supposed to be a very relatable song in that way, because a lot of people have gone through that.
What if I did what you think I did? Could you forgive me the way I did? What if I was lying every time I said it's just a friend? What if I was lying? Would you love me then? I gave my love to somebody else. I gave my love to somebody. I gave my love to somebody else. I gave my love to somebody. Somebody. if I told you I did something so bad it could make a grown man sit and cry? What if I told you that I broke your trust in ways you couldn't even sleep at night? What if I told you that I did the one thing that you just don't do when you love someone? What if I told you that you gon' take me back? I gave my love to somebody else. I gave my love to somebody. I gave my love to somebody else. I gave my love to somebody. Somebody, oh, would you take me back? Oh, tell me, would you take me back, baby? Oh, would you take me back? Oh, tell me, would you take me back, baby?
So Mega Man is your producer. He's done all 5 of your records. How did you guys meet? How did that connection happen? It seems like a really significant one in your life.
Yeah, it really is. Our chemistry has just been, it's definitely been something that I was looking for a long time because I'd worked with so many different producers. He takes the time to really understand an artist's growth. And so, yeah, we met actually when I was living in Brooklyn. He played me some of his production. I unknowingly picked 2 of his production, and that was it. And then I wrote something to it. They sent it to him, and then he was like, I really want to work with her. So he set up a studio session, and the rest was history, you know. So we worked together for a long time. And I just feel like my music has grown so much just from being able to feel comfortable in knowing that who I'm working with really understands who I am and respects who I am. Because as I was saying to you before, there was definitely times in my life where I didn't feel that way.
So it makes me feel like you guys must have a deeper connection, some kind of soul or familial connection.
Yeah, we're just like, he's just a really cool person in the sense that he's work first, you know what I mean? Like, especially being a female in the music industry, there's a lot of just slimy stuff that goes on, and people are just very like, they always have ulterior motives. And I just felt like it was the first actual just clean, honest, working relationship. And I think that's why it's lasted, and I expect it to last. And some of the greatest artists I feel had that, like Aaliyah had Timbaland, and, like there was a lot of artists that had that. They worked with other people, but they had that person that was in their corner that really understood, who they were as an artist.
Did you have a lot of experiences when you were younger coming up in the music industry that weren't, as you said, so clean?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that was part of the reason why I became a little jaded at a time. There was a point where I was like, I don't love this, because I felt like every person that I came across had an ulterior motive, and when you're young, you're so like, when you're 16 or you're 15 or something, like, you're so excited, about these people that you're meeting, and you're so like, oh, they've, produced for this person and whatever. And then when they come at you in that weird sideways way, it kind of makes you look differently at everything that you're doing. It makes you ask so many different questions to yourself, about what you're even doing. And so I had to go through that whole thing. And I think that it prepared me to be so grateful for what I have now.
I want to talk about the name of the record.
Yeah.
It's called The Cure 3. What is the significance of that for you?
Well, it kind of goes back to, I guess, what we were talking about in terms of healing and music. And so The Cure 3 is there's The Cure 2, and The Cure 3, and I will most likely keep going because we always need healing. So it's really just meant to symbolize the fact that music is a mode of healing. And so I think that for me, when I craft these projects, I'm really just looking for tones and lyrics and just overall vibe to just kind of make you feel good, make you feel something. Because I feel for music, for me personally, music can sound good, but if I don't feel it, then it doesn't do anything for me. And that's how I've always felt. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way, whether they know it or not. It's their favorite songs are usually the songs that make them feel something, right? And then there's that nostalgia. When you feel something, when you first hear a song, you almost want to keep going back to it because of what you felt, because you can go there to that place again. So it's almost like this weird time travel thing. Like I listen to songs now that I remember when I first heard them or when I used to play them when I was like on the bus going to junior high school, and it's like if I play that song, I go back there in my mind, and you can feel some of the feelings that you felt then. So I feel like The Cure 3 is really just meant to, hopefully, to make people feel that way, give them that feeling and that healing.
You're going to play us one more song called Soul Catcher.
Yes.
What can you tell me about that song?
Soul Catcher was really just, it's supposed to embody the tones and the vibe of deep love. So, the name Soul Catcher, it's like catching you by the soul, the love that catches you deep inside by the soul. And so lyrically and just the feel of it was supposed to really just kind of take you to that place, whether you've known it or whether it's something that you dream of. It's that place of like really connecting with somebody on a deep soul level.
Want you to give me your love, why don't you show me your face? Want you to tear me apart. I wanna feel your vibration, take a ride on your spaceship past the moon and the stars. And with the taste of your lips, I feel like I'm on a trip. It's like you're holding my heart. Open the door, so let me look in your eyes. I wanna see who you are. Can we slow down? Just let it flow, losing time. So I know you're catching my soul. I get tangled inside of you when we collide. We're like Venus and Mars. Make us travel the universe just to be locked up in each other's arms. And you take me to a higher plane now, so far away, and I just wanna stay. And if you don't wanna be alone, then I don't gotta go, 'cause I'm so wide awake. Can we slow down? Just let it flow, losing time.
that was Haley Smalls and her blend of R&B, raw talent, and spirituality. If you want to know more about Haley Smalls, head on over to cbcmusic.ca/the intro.